What was the
Oh, that's
deal with that?
that's a couple of months. If I'm not mistaken, that's after 3 months I'll be selling out the house.
You awake, bro? Or what? You don't sound very awake, man.
Oh, I did. Hang on. I think it's just my mic. I'm actually using a different microphone. So that's okay.
Uh, it sounds a little better. Sounds like you got some energy now, man. I like it.
Sorry, it's just my volume.
Okay, so let's just kind of do the same thing that we've been doing. Um,
Okay.
we'll just keep the. I'll go through it once, then you go through it once, and then if there's any focal points that we need to work on, you know, we'll we'll hit them as we go. So um,
Okay.
you be the seller first, and then I will be the seller.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Ring ring. Hello.
Hi, is Chris there?
Yeah. Who's this?
Hey, Chris. My name is Marcus. I was actually calling about your house at 123 Main Street. Does that ring a bell?
Yes. What about it?
Hey, I was calling to see if you'd ever consider selling that property.
Well, for the right price, of course.
Okay, Chris, do you have any sort of price in mind?
Well, not at the moment, no.
Okay. Let me ask you: is that place a rental, or are you living in it?
Well, I'm actually living in it. But do you have any price in mind for the house, or are you what you're gonna be willing to pay me?
I just need to ask you a couple of questions about it to see condition and that kind of thing. Then we can come up with a price. I mean, I could look at Zillow and probably give you a rough price, but I'd like to, be a little more honest with you and look at it. How long have you been living there?
For almost 10 years now. Well, I used to sell that house, but no one's actually paying me, or no one's interested in paying what I want. Um, I used to sell that for around $200,000, but no one's actually paying me that one.
So you want to sell it for 200,000? You're saying?
That was before, yeah.
Okay, and you didn't get any offers there.
Yeah.
Why do you think that you didn't get any offers?
Well, I'm not too sure. Popeye's Chicken and the other companies tried to offer me around 170, but they didn't want it because I really wanted to have $200,000. That's it.
I hear you. Yeah, I know sometimes, you know, especially with today's real estate market, we could kind of get stuck on one number. And I know it being your home that you're living in, you definitely want a certain price. I understand that more than anybody does. I've sold a few homes in my time, and oftentimes the market kind of determines what we could get. Where do you think that you would move if you and I were to come to a price that was agreeable for you?
Well, I do have some other houses that I'll be moving in.
Okay, cool. So you just have like another house down the street or whatever that you can move into?
Yeah, that's actually from a different area. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Why do you want to move out of that area?
Um, well, probably because of the my job. It's closest to my job, my office. That's why.
Okay, I see. All right. Well, yeah. So, I mean, have you the place on Main Street? Have you remodeled that one in the last couple of years, or?
Yeah. 2 years ago.
Nice. Okay. What'd you do? Like the roof, kitchen, bathrooms? Did everything top to bottom, or what?
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty much everything.
Cool. Um, Now it's showing here on Zillow that it's a three-bed, one bath. Is that correct?
That is still correct.
Okay, cool. And so you're saying you want 200 grand. So let's say I could make that price work for you. How soon would you want to sell it?
Well, as soon as possible, if we can make a deal.
Okay, fair enough. Um, have you been thinking of selling that place for a while, or is this kind of just something you're coming up with now?
Yeah, I've been thinking that one up.
Why would you want to sell it if you don't mind me asking?
Well, first of all, it's because my other house is near in my office, and second, I just wanted to get rid of that house because it's too old. But yeah, as I mentioned, I already make some changes 2 years ago.
All right, fair enough, man. Well, yeah, I definitely think that this is something that we'd be interested in. I don't want to tell you 100% that we could give you your price until I look at the numbers with my manager. But obviously, it is something that we'd be interested in. Chris, let me ask you. Um, you know, her and I will run the numbers on it to see exactly what we could pay. But if we paid all of the title and escrow fees, you'd have to pay any commissions or closing costs. Is 200 grand the best price that you'd give us?
Well, we'll see. If you make a fair offer, well, that will be it.
Fair enough. Okay. So is this the best contact number for you?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. And I know, just real quick before we hop off, do you? Sounds like you have a few other houses. Is this the one on Main Street? Is that the only one that you want to sell?
Yeah, this is the only one for now.
Okay, cool. All right, Chris. Well, it's great talking to you, man, and I'll give you a call here probably either this afternoon or first thing in the morning tomorrow morning. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay, good. So you're moving out of the area again, huh?
I can't think about anything else.
Well, you're on the phone with fucking sellers every day, man. You should have plenty of things to think about, right?
Right. Well, most of them are just for no, not right now. Probably after a few months, and then they're not gonna tell you on why. And then the other are those other people who would like to sell right away. They just wanted to sell it out because of it's a rental, and yeah, they're not fixing out. At the same scripting that we have, I think that was last week.
Yeah.
They're not paying the rent. I mean, they're still paying the rent, but they don't want it to fix it up, so they just wanted to sell it out.
Yeah, so maybe the next time that we do this, you could say that you want to retire from being a landlord and you want to get as much money as possible because I'm sure you probably hear that quite a bit because I know I hear that quite a bit. So, next tomorrow when we do this, hopefully fucking Zoom will work and we could do it that way. So,
Yeah.
okay, cool. So, I will be the seller now. Is there any questions that you have on that?
Yeah, actually, the marketing. Because I believe we focused on the first part in asking about marketing values or something. You mentioned about yeah, there's some changes in the market area or market value, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
just wanted to yeah, focus on that one out because sometimes they're gonna ask you, hey, yeah, what are you gonna offer me? And then they're gonna rebuttal saying, I really need $150,000. Yeah, and then I'm gonna ask, hey, why is that? How did you come up with that price? You know the market value in the area. Do you know what the market value of that house? And then I'm gonna open up the Zillow. Well, it's stating here it's well, I made some changes, and at the same time, the market just yeah. I don't quite understand yet about the market value,
Okay.
unless we're gonna check it in Zillow.
So, don't ever check Zillow when you're on the phone with them. Not your job.
Yeah,
I mean, you can fucking look at it, but you know, don't tell them, "Oh, I'm looking at Zillow right now," because you don't have enough experience doing that to
yeah,
warrant you saying, "Oh, well, Zillow says this," and you're telling me that. Like, you're off base, man. You're never gonna get that. Easy way to hang up on you. So, what I would like you to say is, we buy several houses in this area per year, or even we buy a few houses a month, so we're very familiar with the market here in South Bend, and even this is just kind of as of lately, like the real estate market in general has like cooled off a little bit, so there's what's called more inventory on the market, so just houses are sitting on the market for a little bit longer. It's kind of the time of year like people don't really buy a ton of houses in January. Not as frequent as they do during the summer, so houses move a lot faster in the summer. So something good to say right now is like, yeah, I know the market has changed a little bit, but I'd love to take a look at the comps and let you know exactly what we can pay you. something like that. So you're being very vague. You're not saying, "Oh well, 150 grand is way too much, man." Hey, I can look at the comps and I can see what we can come up with. So you're also not saying, I can pay you 150 or your price is legitimate or whatever. You know what I mean? So you need to be very vague with these people and don't go to Zillow to try to look at stuff. Like sometimes I'll do that when I'm on the phone with people, and literally almost every time that I do it, I give them a price that they don't like and they hang up and we don't close that deal. So, just to give you some context, if a person is so focused on price that, they have something in their mind of what it should be worth, usually it's not worth that much. That's like what the biggest, nicest house in that neighborhood sold for, and they have a little junky, little shitty house that's, right there. Like, oh, well, fucking that house sold for that much. That's what I should get too. And it is true that the market does slow down during winter, basically nationwide. So, you know, getting super high market price from a cash buyer is not very realistic for them. But you're not the person that should tell them that. I'll tell them that because I can soften the blow somewhat. Like, oh, well, the market's a little slow. Things have changed a little bit. Interest rates are a little higher right now. So, in order to make it work as a rental for us, this is the price that we would have to pay because this is what our mortgage would be. Something like that. Like, that's what I say to people. Like,
Right.
if someone's asking like 3 or 400 grand for a house, I'm like, well, I would have to rent that place for, you know, 4 grand a month or something to, make that work. And for us as a business, that I can't really justify that, you know. So as you get more experience and I start hearing that you're saying more things like, oh, we can see what we can pay you, or, I can take a look at the comps of my manager and see exactly what a good cash price would be, stuff like that, then you and I can, you know, help you learn how to comp these places and how to look at it. But you haven't even mastered the script yet or any of that kind of stuff or these rebuttals and that kind of thing. And we're still trying to work on your active listening, and there's nothing wrong with that. We haven't instructed you, for most of the year. So I'm not, expecting you to know all these things. But if in 6 months you're still making these same kind of stupid mistakes, then, you're probably not paying attention or you don't care, So I would expect in 6 months that we will be doing that kind of stuff. Obviously, assuming that we still continue to script every day and you still show up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So okay, so I'll be the seller now. You be the caller. Let's roll with that. So ring ring.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, is Marcus there?
Hi, this is Marcus.
Hi, my name is Chris. I'm just calling regarding a house at 123 Main Street. Does that ring a bell?
Um, who you calling with, man?
Right, well, actually, my name is Chris. I'm calling from a local real estate investment company. We actually purchase 5 to 6 houses in the area per month. We just wanted to see if you ever consider selling your home.
Um, I don't know, man. You guys just gonna give me some fucking lowball offer? I get these calls all the time.
Well, we only make fair offers on the house, and our goal is to always create a win-win transaction. Now, have you ever considered selling the house?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it.
Sorry, Marcus, your line
Y-
just cut out.
yeah, I've thought about selling the property.
Oh, that's actually perfect. Well, as I've said, we are looking to buy firmer houses in the area. Now, is the house vacant or is that being rented out?
Uh, I ain't gonna tell you nothing, man. I mean, what fucking price are you gonna give me? I ain't got time for all this.
Right. Well, making an offer is actually my manager's job. Well, my job is just to see if selling the house is something you would even consider. Is the house vacant or is that being rented out?
I don't really want to tell you that, man. I don't feel comfortable giving you that kind of info over the phone. You're some random guy who called me.
I got you. Well, my goal is just to find it out a little bit more about the house. So when my manager calls you back, they know what's going on and they can put together an offer for you. Now, is the house still in a good shape or does it need a little work?
Okay, so go back to if it's vacant or rented out.
Oh, okay.
Because you
All right.
skipped to the next question, and we still need to find that out, right? So
Yeah.
don't forget to include that part. So go read this paragraph again. That's understandable. My goal that, and then go into is it vacant or whatever.
Copy. Yeah, that's understandable. Well, my goal is just to find out a little bit more about the house. So when my manager calls you back, they know what's going on and they can put together an offer for you. Now, is the house in a is that vacant or is that being rented out?
That place. I'm pretty sure that there's a tenant in that one.
I see. Then, are they in a month-to-month or on a lease?
Um, they're definitely not on a lease. I know that.
Okay. Is the house still in a good shape?
Yeah, I mean maybe. I'm not really sure.
I see. When was the last time you've been there, or when was the last time you saw it?
A couple years back, my wife and I moved down to Florida a while back, and we kind of been not paying attention to the rentals as much since we moved down here.
I see. Can you still remember what you said it looked like?
Yeah, it's a little 3 bed, 1 bath house.
And all right. And how much are renting it for?
I think that one might be like 7 or 800. I
Hmm.
mean, Chris, I'm asking all these fucking questions, man. What are you guys gonna pay me, dude? That's what I'm worried about. I don't care about answering all these questions for you. You know the house. You can look it up on Zillow. There's pictures there. I mean, what's it gonna take to get a number out of you, man?
All right. Well, again, making an offer is actually my manager's job. Well, my job is just to check first if you would even, or if selling the house is something you would even consider. And then once I got all the details, I'll be forwarding this one out to my manager, and they can give you a call back early tomorrow morning or either today. It's been your rental house for quite a long time. What's keeping you from fixing it up? 'Cause you mentioned that you just moved into Florida. What is that?
Yeah. I mean, we're living down here. I don't really want to go back to Indiana to go repair a fucking house.
Yeah, what's keeping you from fixing that one up? Um, are they not paying you a good rent for that one?
No, they're paying me, but like I just said, I live in Florida. I don't want to drive all the way back to Indiana
Right.
to go do a rehab, so I don't worry about
I see then. I got you. Well, if our company will be interested in this house, how soon are you looking to sell?
it. I mean, shoot, man. It all really kind of depends on you guys. You guys got to bring the money to the table.
I see. Do you have a particular price in mind for the house?
Um, no, I want to know your guys' offer.
Okay then. Well, have you been thinking of selling this house for a while now?
Yeah, I mean, since we moved to Florida, I've kind of wanted to check out the rentals. That's for sure.
I see. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. Well, this is the house that we've been interested in. Now, as I've said, my manager will be running the numbers, and they will give your call sometime to there tomorrow to put together an offer for you. Is this your best callback number?
Yeah.
Perfect. And by the way, do you have any other houses that you're looking forward to sell aside from this one?
No, that's it.
Lauren. Well, it was great talking to you, Marcus. Have a wonderful day.
Okay. So, again, I told you I live in Florida. I don't want to drive down there. And then you asked me again, what's stopping me from fixing it? So, what in your mind told you that you should ask that question again?
Well, I was trying to get like an information we're in. Well, we move into that one because I might wanted to, or you might want to. I think you will be saying that I do have another house in this area, so I just wanted to move in. So I was just trying to figure out if what
What
are
what do you,
best questions.
what do you mean you have another house in? So I can go stay in a different house in Indiana and remodel it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because the way you said it's super confusing.
Oh, sorry.
So
I'm actually not getting the question.
so active listening is your best friend. Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm am you know you've been making these calls for a while. I expect you to understand that all old people who live in Indiana, they pretty much all move to Florida, basically, which is, you know, 1,000 miles away. So people don't want to drive back to Indiana where it's cold and go do remodels on houses. So if someone tells you, "Oh, I don't want to go back there and do something," obviously their time, having their time to them is their biggest motivation. And if we can make it easy on them by them not having to fucking do anything, they have to check a few emails and then they get a big old check in the mail. That's better for them. So you need to start soaking in this information when they're telling it to you, so that you know, because obviously you probably didn't know that Florida and Indiana are super far away from each other because you don't live in the United States.
Yeah.
But so that's probably why you asked that question. But even if they live in the next town over and they're saying they don't want to go there and do something, uh, make a remark to that, like, "Oh yeah, I know, I really hate rehabbing houses. That's why we have our team handle remodels." And you don't have to say that specifically, but just say something to reaffirm what they said. Like, "Oh yeah, uh, doing a rehab on a rental is something that it's not very fun. I wouldn't want to waste my time doing it," type of thing. You know, like, just say something. You have to say something. You have to acknowledge what they're saying. Um, and just to let you, like, literally, even if you didn't know that Florida and Indiana were far apart, if you would have heard the words I was saying, I said I didn't want to go there. So I'm giving you my motivation. And remember, like we've kind of been talking about, I'm handing you my motivation on a platter. You need to pull that motivation out of me. Like, "Oh yeah, I would hate having to travel just to go fix a house. That would suck." So you could say that, and you have no idea how far apart they are. You know, you need to say something to acknowledge what they're saying, basically. Um, so just think about that, and I know we're giving you a lot of information every morning, so I'm not expecting you to retain all of this information, but stuff like this where you know they tell you something you didn't need to know the distance between the two places. You just needed to know, "Oh yeah, this fucking guy doesn't want to deal with it anymore. We could probably buy it," you know. And then also, you didn't ask me, "Hey, if we paid all the fucking title and escrow fees, whatever that line." You didn't ask me that one either. So
Yeah. You, well, I did ask for the price. Yeah, but you said it's up to us. So yeah, I didn't ask that question.
yeah, so if they don't give you a price, what you can say is, "Well, hey," so you just ask again. If they fucking say, "Oh, I don't know," or whatever, you just need to ask them again. Say, "Hey, if we pay all title and escrow fees, no commissions, no closing costs, and we can close on your timeline, what's the best price that you can give us?" Just ask the question, dude. You know, ain't,
Okay.
ain't no problem in asking the question. And he'll be like, "Oh, well, I already told you, man. Just whatever you want to give us." Or he'll be like, "Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe 40 grand, 60 grand, something like that." You know what I mean? So your job is to ask the questions. Their job is to give you as little information as possible so they can get the highest price that they can, right?
Right.
So just think of it that way. You're trying to extract information out of them. So, all right, dude. Well, keep going on the dialer. Remember, use your ears. They are your best friend, my friend.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can get Zoom.
Motivation.
Yeah, hopefully, we can get Zoom working again tomorrow morning. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that thing, but yeah, I'll talk to you in the morning. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Chris. Appreciate you. Have a good day, man.
Thanks. Thanks, Marcus.
All right, that was scripting for January 14th, 2025. Active listening is the most important thing that you can do when you're calling somebody. For anybody who calls people in sales, you should know that. Have a good day, people.